Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is something I have been wanting to film for literally like 3 or 4 years now. Oh my gosh, I'm literally filming this in my neighborhood and it's a Friday night and so many people are going by right now, but I don't really know where else to film it, so we're just gonna deal with the awkwardness. But yeah, if you couldn't tell by the title of this video, I did buy myself a new car. It was not something I was planning to do this soon, but I'll get into like the whole story behind it. People keep driving by and my camera is like protruding on the dashboard. But this is a really big deal to me and something I'm very proud of and like want to document. So in addition to giving you guys a car tour, I'm gonna talk about like the whole process, why I wanted a new car, the car buying experience, all of that. But if you are just here just because you want to see the car, I totally understand. I will not be offended. There will be timestamps on this video so you can just skip to whatever part you're interested in. But if you're a subscriber or you're interested in why I got the car, how the car buying experience was for me, then keep on watching. Also, before I get started, I just want to make a disclaimer. I am not trying to brag. I did buy this car 100% on my own. I'm 22 years old. I am financially independent and I chose to buy this car. I realize that having a luxury car is not a necessity, but if you know me, I am such a car person. I always have been, and I spend a lot of my free time literally like looking up cars and like new models and features, and I definitely geek out when like new models of cars come out. So this is right up my alley and I realize it is not a necessity, but I finally stopped beating myself up over wanting to drive a nice car, and I realized if that's how I want to spend my money and it's something that's going to bring me joy on a daily basis, then for me it is worth it. And I literally feel such a sense of pride driving this car, just knowing how long I wanted it for. So yeah, with all of that being said, I'm going to get into the backstory, the car buying process, and all of that. So this is an Audi Q3, and something really random that I love about this car is that it actually takes regular fuel, which if you didn't know, like most luxury vehicles take premium fuel, which definitely adds up over the long term. Obviously, you all know how expensive gas has been lately, which if you didn't know is due to the high demand and low supply of crude oil coupled with the market disruption ever since the onset of the war on Ukraine. And then obviously inflation plays a role in that too. So being able to save a little bit extra on fuel each month is super exciting for me, and that's how you know you become an adult, when you're excited about saving money on gas. But with gas prices being so high, the current administration is working to bring down those prices and protect consumers from price gouging of gasoline and other fuels. So they've opened investigations into it and are working to reduce inflation. You might have noticed back in July there was a little bit of a price drop in gasoline due to immediate actions being taken to reduce inflation, but we still need more to be done to continue to reduce that inflation and lower gas prices. So remember to vote in the midterms because you are voting for those representatives who are going to make those changes. That's all for my gas rant. Now on to the backstory of the car. So I guess I will start off with how I decided I wanted a new car. If you are a longtime subscriber, then you would remember the first ever car tour that I posted back in 16, and that is still one of my favorite videos to go back and watch because it's literally like a time capsule to me, and my first car holds such a special place in my heart. It was my first big purchase. I bought it all on my own and I was so proud and felt such a sense of pride driving it, similar to how I feel with this car. But that car was with me from early high school all the way until I finished high school and then all the way through college, and it was the most reliable car ever. It served me very well. But now that I graduated, I kind of came to the realization that I was ready for something a little bit different for this new stage of life that I'm entering, and for the past like 3 or 4 years I've really been wanting an SUV. I just want something that feels a little safer, where I'm like higher up off the ground, and my biggest thing was I wanted a car with safety features. As reliable as my car was, it had like none of the updated safety features. I got it like right before they all started rolling out, so all I had was a backup camera, but I didn't have like blind spot monitors or anything. This car has blind spot monitors, it has lane keep assist, it has automatic braking, which I live in OC LA area, and California drivers are crazy. Literally on the 405 freeway, traffic can come to a stop like so fast, so I just feel an added layer of security having that automatic braking feature. But yeah, so those are a few reasons why I decided I wanted to start looking for a new car, but I didn't plan on getting one until like at least 20 2023. But I'm a planner and I was doing all of my research on cars. I was spending so much time doing it. I basically landed on the Q3. I had like a list of things that I wanted in a car and this checked off pretty much all of them. And so I started looking for Q3s in my area just to see like what the price was like. And I started doing research into the car buying process because while I did buy my first car, I was also under 18. So my mom conducted the entire process for me and then I just paid her, if that makes sense. So I needed to do the research on like getting approved for a car loan, how much you should put down, what my trade-in value for my other car would be, all of that. And I also learned that Audi had this like college grad program, which was pretty vague online. So I wanted to go into a dealership and actually like learn more about it. And I also wanted to test drive the car to see if like I even really liked it as much as I thought I did, because you can really like a car on the outside and like according to all its features and then drive it and it's just like not the vibe. So I basically found the exact car that I wanted. I knew that if I was going to take the leap and make this huge financial decision, I wanted the car to have all of the features I wanted. I really wanted this brown interior, which I found was very hard to find. So to make a long story short, I found the exact model that I wanted and I happened to be near the dealership it was at, so I went to test drive it. Loved it. And when I got out of the car, the dealer was like, okay, well, let's go inside and like crunch some numbers and see if this makes sense. And I was like, like I just kind of wanted to learn more about the financing process, all of that. But we go inside and he basically told me that I was pre-approved because I had good credit. So if you are 18 or older and you have not started building credit, definitely start doing that, because that is literally the reason I was approved to buy this car. And I got such a good interest rate on it and I didn't need a co-signer, which again, like such a proud moment. Editing Emma here. I wanted to also clarify that the fact that I got approved for the loan on the spot is not the reason I bought the car. I had already done all of the research beforehand, like I talked about, and I kind of knew like what I was willing to spend and that I was in a position to seriously start looking. I was just waiting for the right time to buy the car whenever the numbers made sense and whenever that particular model was available, because obviously there is a shortage of cars available right now still because of like the chip shortage and COVID and all of that. So I was really lucky to find the car that I did with all of the features that I wanted, and it was the only one in my area that had everything that I wanted. And so the reason I went through with the purchase was because I didn't want to lose the car. So yeah, I did not impulse buy the car, it just happened sooner than I thought it would. And then the whole process started moving pretty quickly from there. They gave me a quote for my old car. I negotiated it a little bit because I had already looked at the Kelley Blue Book value of my car and they had offered me significantly below, so I got them to come up a little bit. Then used that entire trade-in value as a down payment on this car, and then I put some additional money on top of that, and then that ended up being about 40% of the car's cost, and it's recommended that you put down at least 20%. I should also note that before I went in, I did know how much I was willing to pay in monthly payments, and you should definitely know that before you go into the dealership, because it's important to know how much you can afford, and you don't want to be caught up in the excitement of the car buying process and then sign a loan that you can't afford. And also be careful with lower monthly payments for a longer period of time, because you're paying more interest on those and you're essentially paying more for the car over the long term, if that makes sense. So that is the backstory. I did negotiate a little bit. I got them to come down from the price of the car by a little bit, but obviously you guys know how crazy this car market is right now, so there's not a lot of wiggle room in negotiating like there usually is, but there still is, and you should definitely try, because that is the best time. You have to remember they want you to buy the car, so they're gonna be willing to budge a little bit if they are good salespeople. I also did buy this car fresh out of a lease, so it is not a brand new car. I've never had a brand new car. My first car was also fresh out of a lease, and I think that's honestly like the best way to buy a car from the dealership, fresh out of a lease, because it's pre-owned, it has low mileage, it's, you know, gone through all its certifications, and that way you are not paying for the biggest chunk of depreciation that the car goes through in the first few years of its life, but it's pretty much like brand new. And both of the cars I've had people thought were brand new, but you know, I saved some money by not buying it brand new, if that makes sense. So that would be my advice. I don't know if I would ever buy a brand new car. I would just rather save the money, and nobody knows unless I tell them. So I told you guys. But yeah, that was the little backstory on like why I ended up buying the car, how the process was. I really hope that helped those of you who are interested in buying a car by yourself in the future, because I feel like there's a lot of like mystery around it, and it's hard to find like concrete answers on the internet, so hopefully that helped. I'm happy to answer any additional ones down below. If you made it this far, you are a real one, and now let's get into the actual tour of the car. So this is the outside. She's a little dirty right now, but I just think it is so sporty and girly at the same time. And this is the back. I have my alumni plate. This is what the car looks like from the side. I'm obsessed with these rims. Okay, so here we are in the inside of the car. This car has way more features than my last car, and I'm still learning all of them, but I love it so much more, like the whole driving experience. So again, I did get the brown interior. It's called Okapi Brown. I just thought it was absolutely beautiful. So here on the door panel, you have all of your usual buttons for windows. This is to adjust the side mirrors, and if you see that like black thing right there, those are the blind spot monitors, and they basically just glow when there is a car in your blind spot, and if you have your blinker on and there's a car in your blind spot, they'll flash. So that's super helpful because I've had a lot of close calls with not seeing cars in my blind spot, so I'm so happy that I have that now. Here we have my headlights, so you can see that they're on auto. And then this is my favorite part, the digital cockpit. I just think it looks so sleek, and it's just great while you're driving. And in the middle here, it has a few different settings. So right now I have it on driver assistance. So basically when I'm driving, those lane markers will turn either green or red depending on like if I'm centered in the lane, everything like that. It'll also show me if I'm approaching a car in front of me too closely, and then you can switch the view. So if I have my phone connected, it'll show me what song I have playing. I just plugged in my phone to show you guys, but if I press the arrow, I can see what's playing. If I scroll, I can see all these different indicators, so I can see what's taking up the most of my gas, long-term memory, short-term memory, fuel consumption. So since I'm not driving right now, that's just blank, and the date and time, which is super helpful. And then of course I have my speedometer, and next to that is my fuel gauge. This car doesn't have as good a fuel economy as my last car, so that's definitely been something to adjust to, but it does take the regular fuel like I told you guys, which has definitely been nice. And then this is another one of my favorite parts about the car. The screen, you can see that it's slightly tilted toward the driver, so I really love this interface. Right now I just have it on Spotify. There's also maps, which I'm not gonna show because that'll show like where I am right now. But if I go to my home screen, I have all of these different options. The screen is really fingerprinty right now, so I'm sorry, but it has all of these options. I can adjust like lighting from here, which is super cool. Exterior lighting, you can turn on and off your daytime running lights, automatic headlights, all of that. I'm honestly still learning a lot of these, but you can also edit your driver assistance settings, so you can set a speed warning, which is really nice. So I set mine at 85. I usually try to cap it at 80 on the freeway, but it's good because if I get distracted and I'm going 85, it'll pop up with an alert on the digital cockpit, and it'll actually like sound an alarm and say like that I've reached my speed limit, so that's really nice. And then Audi Presense is the automatic braking feature. Haven't seen that in action yet. Hopefully I won't, but I don't know how that works yet because it has not had to activate yet, thank goodness. You can see I also have side assist on, and then lane departure warning. And with that, the steering wheel will just vibrate and kind of shift if I'm not staying centered in my lane, which has definitely been something to get used to, because sometimes if I'm actually like exiting and I don't have my signal on, it'll like veer, which scared me the first time. So sometimes I don't like it. So that's what that vibration is. But yeah, so you can kind of just edit all of like your vehicle settings through here. I just love this interface. And then down below, I just have like all of my climate control settings. Here is where I keep my phone, and I love this because my last car didn't really have like a compartment for my phone, so I just always had it like in my cup holder. But something that's super cool about this car is that it has a wireless phone charger. So it's plugged in right now for CarPlay, but the phone will charge wirelessly in the slot, which is super cool. And then I have my gear shifter, which I famously said in my last car tour, the Prindle. And here is my Prindle, if you know what I'm talking about. So like I was saying earlier, I am a car geek, and I noticed that the Q3 is like the only Audi that has like a traditional gear shift. They all have like a more modern gear shifter now that's like flat. I'll insert it on the screen, but this one doesn't have it. It's fine. Here I just have my parking brake. You just pull this up. Don't know what this is. Don't come for me. Let me know in the comments what it is. Cup holders, and then I have my center console. So it's pretty small. I just have like sunglasses in there, mints. But yeah, this one is pretty compact. Here is the passenger seat. I am just so obsessed with this brown. Like, I think it's so unique, and I think it complements the white on the exterior so well. Over here, right above the screen, I have my little Bath & Body Works car air freshener. I have always kept these in my car. I'm obsessed with them. I swear by them. I get so many compliments on the way my car smells, and it's all because of those. And then if you open the glove compartment, again, not very spacious compared to my last car, which is disappointing, but it's not a big deal. I just have my paperwork from the dealership, have the owner's manual, and then I just have like a little car emergency kit. I've always had one of these. So it just has like lotion, hand sanitizer, a Tide pen, Kleenex, Tylenol, some car fragrance refills, makeup wipes, a little travel brush, all the essentials, but that is all that I have in there. This is what the car looks like from the back seat. It is super spacious back here, so my passengers have said. All right, so that was my updated car tour. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Thank you guys so much for all of your support, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.